Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Rabbi Sai, here we go. 12 lines from the bottom of Samach Beis, Omid Beis. Once again, a very, very easy Gemara. Omer Papa, we're just going to go through this. Even if we learned it yesterday, we're just going to do a few lines here that we did, just a Chazarah. Just to remind Olam, there are two types of birds. They're very, very different families. Tarnagola da Agma, Asira. Tarnagolta da Agma, Sharia. They have a very similar name. One is in the male version, Tarnagola, and one is female, Tarnagolta da Agma, of the swamp. The swamp chicken. Okay, one is female, one is male, but they're different birds. So our boys said, let's pay attention here for a second. How many birds are there that we know of today? 11,000 species of birds. Of the 11,000 species of birds that are known today, there are only 24 birds that you're not allowed to eat. That's a crazy number. 24 out of 11,000. So the Tarnagola, the male one, is Asr. Tarnagolta, the Sharia, is Mutter. V'simanach, and how do you remember this? Amoini v'lo amoinis. The male is Asr. You're not allowed to marry a male Amoini because he didn't come out with his bread and water. He didn't treat you with Achnas Zarchim. But the female Amoinis, it's not her job to come out and treat you well. So therefore she wasn't punished. So you're allowed to marry Giyoris Amoinis. So too, the Tarnagolta, the Agma, the female you're allowed to eat, the male you're not allowed to. Darish Mirema Tarnagolta, the Agma Asira. This is fascinating right here. Why is it also to eat the Tarnagolta da Agma? We paid attention and we noticed after all these years that we were eating the Tarnagolta da Agma, we suddenly realized, wait a minute, this bird eats its food with its hands, or it stays on its food. And that's why people tie in it today that the chickens of our generation, they also do some sort of drisa, which is problematic. So for this, we have to see Rashi. Rashi says a very big yesod here. When we're learning this sugya of animals, we said, if you look in its mouth and you see it doesn't have upper teeth, so you know it's kosher. If it's malagir, you know it's kosher. So what about a wildebeest? Yeah. Halachically, back then, you could just go and open up its mouth and eat it, see it's malagir. But the Shach came along and said that's the first time that I found, but other people could tell me if I'm wrong, there's a concept of Messiah, but this concept we see more in the Gemara when it comes to a bird. So it says Rashi, since we're not very familiar with it, nearly the oif habalafonenu yesh lo b'shem yidros. So that's why you have to have a Messiah in all birds. You can't just grab a bird, a flamingo, and say, oh, I think a flamingo is kosher because it has, let's say, a zepek and a this. Oh, it has one siman, you're allowed to eat it. Because Shema Yidrois, because one day you'll find out, like we found out with this Tarnagolta. The Hach Tarnagolta, the Agma, because says Rashi, Hoyu Machzigim et for generations we used to eat it. And this is again, this goes back to the same thing. I don't want to beat the same drum, but just because we did something wrong for generations, you could do something, Klal Yisrael could do something wrong for generations. It's possible. It doesn't make it mutter. And for generations, we're eating this bird. What? So my grandfather ate treif? Nebuch, yeah, I'm sorry. He ate treif. That's what he says. The and after a while, and then they realize, wait a minute, we got a problem. It does drisa. So a bird you could only eat when you have a Messiris. That's why my nephew is a Kamenetsky. He doesn't eat turkey. The Reb Yankiv Kamenetsky's family doesn't eat turkey. Why? Because they don't have a Messiris. They say there's a lot of people don't eat turkey. You have to have a Messiris. I don't have the Messiris. The Stefanskys eat it. Too bad. We don't have the Messiris, he says. Fine. Shoiftar, he repeats, Shoiftar, Nechal b'Messiris. And a lot of the controversies you have in different birds, different chickens, is because of this idea of Messiris. Do we have a Messiah to our chicken that we eat today? It has all sorts of different birds were inserted to make it stronger and larger. That's the controversy that they had over the years. Okay, says the Gemara. Oh, Omar Rav, Shavur and Arpato Shari. So I don't have pictures for some of these birds like these. There is a bird called Shavur. You're allowed to eat it. Piruz in the parta, but the same on the parta. One is called Shvur, one is called Piruz, Aser. We want to remember, Piruz Rashid is a guy called Piruz, he's a Rasha. Bunya Shari, this bird called a Bunya, Mutter. Parva Aser. How do you remember this? Parva Mgusha, the famous sorcerer called Parva, he's a bad guy, so Parva is Aser. Amrav Papa. Mardu, the bird called Mardu, Zogid V'achil Shari. If he stands and he eats, then it's what to eat. Zogid V'achil, if he bows and he eats, then it's awesome. You're not allowed to bow to another god. So Mela, the ones who bow and eat, they're also. Or well, Shasi Chamra Asir, there's a bird called the wine drinker. You're not allowed to eat him. V'simanach, easy to remember. Shesui Yain, Psulin La'avoida. Those who drink wine as a kohen, you cannot perform the avodah that day. The bird that's called the wine pourer, how do you say pourer? Server, something like that. The sommelier bird is asira. Bas mazga, there's a bird called the daughter of the sommelier, chamra sharia. It's mutter. If you want to remember, like we had the other day, the son sometimes is stronger than the father. Om Rav Yehuda. Shakidna Arichi Shaki has very long legs. Listen to this. What if you had to guess what this bird is? Yeah, it has very long legs, Vesumke, and it's red. What is that?
It's a pelican?
No.
Flamingo. Or flamingo.
That's what you meant. Here, flamingo. Mutter, you're allowed to eat it. V'simanach murzma. Here, I gotta tell you, I did not speak into the. It's not me. This is 100% AI.
ככל הנראה, העוף הזה זה שקטינה, והוא מותר באכילה.
וסימניך?
If it talks, it's for sure also to eat. Oh, Gutze Vesumke Asiri. This I just made up. Because I searched for another bird that's red, pink red, but has short legs. This is what I found. Maybe it is in the article, I don't know. But the shorter legs is Asadi. V'simanach nanos puzzle. A dwarf, a vertically challenged person is puzzle for kuhuna. Ariki shaki. If it has long legs, v'yeruke, and it's green. So green usually means yellow in the Gemara. And look at this beauty I found. Mamish, gorgeous bird. What is that? A yellow flamingo. I guess it eats a different diet. It turns into yellow. Omer Rav Yehuda, Shalach Zeh Hashoyle Dogim Min Hayam. So for this we have some crazy pictures. First of all, this is a Shalach, cormorant, something like that. It's a fisher. But check this out. This guy did a mean thing. He's in China. This is what they do. They're not so friendly to animals. But this really fits right into the Gemara later on. That in a minute, Rabbi Yochanan says that Hashem treats the Shalach with Midas HaMishpat. He's not so kind with him. So check this out. How does he fish? He has 2 pet Shalachs, and he ties them, and he makes them fish for him. That's a great picture, no? Wow. Oh, and now listen to this. Duchifat. Shahidu Kafos. Till this very day, there's a bird called Duchifat. And the ArtScroll agrees that that's what it is. And it's one of my favorite birds. It's just a beautiful, beautiful bird. And they have this in Eretz Yisrael. And what's cool about this bird is that it has a crown. And the ArtScroll has the picture of its crown open and closed. And I'd like to show you some of the, here's the crown open. Now, what's amazing about this bird is that this is the bird. Vizehu. So first, let's read the words. Shahaydai kafos. The crown is bent downwards. It's bent like this. Akopanim. Tainameachi. Duchifas shahaydai kafos. His crown is bent backwards. Vizehu shehevi shomer lebeis hamikdash. What is going on here? What does it mean? The shomer is a special worm that could cut through stone. And in the Beis Hamikdash, you're not allowed to use metal. You're not allowed to use metal tools to build a Beis Hamikdash. So how do they cut the stone? They use the shomer. But how do you get the shomer? So the shomer is held by the sar of the water, the malach of the water. And the duchifas gets access to it. He could get it. So they did a trick. Shlomo HaMelech needed it badly. So he fooled the duchifat. He put a piece of glass over this hopo's babies, and he couldn't reach them. Okay, couldn't reach. So he went to get the shomer to cut the glass. He had to make a hole in the glass to get to his babies, to his chicks, whatever they're called. And when he came back with the shomer, he scared him. So he ran away and he dropped the shomer, and that's how they got it. And then what happened? He hung himself. As the Gemara says. Gemara says he killed himself. He was so embarrassed that that he lost the shomer and he let a human being take advantage that he killed himself. He choked himself. Says the Gemara, and that's the pshat. V'zehu shehevi shomer lebeis hamikdash. Rabbi Yochanan, beautiful thing here, beautiful idea. Rabbi Yochanan, you have a chazi shalach. When you would see the bird called a shalach, the kamaran, we said something like that. Omar bishpotecha tohaim rabo. That's the bird that the Chinese guy used to fish. He would say, your mishpat, your midas ha-mishpat tohaim rabo. To go deep down to find the fish, hard parnasa. Kavachazin amala. When you would see an ant, Omar tzitkoscha kahariel. Omar tzitkoscha kahariel. That the chesed and the tzedakah that Kosh Baruch Hu does with this ant, that he has food wherever he goes. He has food. He's never hungry, this ant. He has food everywhere. Omar Meimer. Lakni uvatni sharyan. These two birds called lakni uvatni, you're allowed to eat them. Shaknoy uvatni. It depends on the shaknoy uvatni. Mogim shenagul echel loichlin. The place that you eat them, you're allowed to eat them. Mogim shenagul shlo echel loichlin. The place that the minhag is not to eat it, you don't eat it. As Gemara, what do you mean minhag? It goes by minhag in. It goes. Why? When there's a peres vaznia, so maybe what you're eating is from that species. So you're not allowed to eat it. It's not there. It's like the Gemara said yesterday that the peres vaznia doesn't come into where people live. It's usually more in the desert. So if you find this bird, you're allowed to eat it. Omar Abaya. Two birds called kuy v'kakai, also to eat. Kukasa, very similar, even the same letters. Kukai, kukasa. Kukai is also, kukasa is mutter. And Eretz Yisrael, they said if you eat a kukasa, you get malchus. Okay? It's not only that it's not mutter, but you get malchus on it, so asur. Torah banon, tinshemes, boish ba'ifais. There's two ways to read the word, but I like the one boish, means it's like the most. How do you say most in English, but in a nice way? Disgusting is like it's a most word. Disgusting. Maybe there's a better way to say it. It is okay. Disgusting. Fine. We'll go with the simple word. Disgusting. So in Hebrew, in the modern day Hebrew, and he brings it also that this might be tenshemet. This is what a tenshemet looks like in Eretz Yisrael today. Which, to me, I was in Spal, his face is kind of flat. It's not very aerodynamic. How doesn't it like have issues flying? But no, Hashem knows how to do it. But it's considered a disgusting looking bird. You say that's the most disgusting of the birds. Maybe we're talking about shratzim. And then I'll be referring to not an owl, but a bat. A bat is considered, even though it's flies, it's considered a sheretz. So the Gemara says, no, if we're talking about birds, we must be talking about a bird, which is a tenchemes, and not a sheretz, which is a bat. Why? Very simple. Amris. One of the 13 rules in the Torah, something that you learn from the own thing. It has to be boisayin. You're talking about birds. So too, huh? Shrotzim not. So the same thing reverse we learned by Shrotzim. Tinchemes boishav is Shrotzim. The Tinchemes, which shares a name with a bird, is the ugliest of the Shrotzim, which means a bat. We're talking about a bat. Maybe we're talking about the owl, type of an owl. Since we're talking about Shrotzim, so it's the bat, not the owl. But in our sugi, we're talking about the owl, so we're talking about the owl, not the bat. The ugliest of the birds is that owl, that Tinchemes. And what's the ugliest of the Shrotzim? Not a bat, but rather this guy, a mole. The kaas zu hakuk. So in English, a cook, kaas, is called a pelican. That would be usher, beautiful picture, would be usher to eat a pelican. Racham zu shrakrak. So this is my favorite bird of all time, only because it's beautiful colors. Look at that. Look at those colors. I saw it with my own eyes. They have it in Africa. Hard to like they fly. It's hard to like get a good look at them when they spread their wings. Now this is what it looks like when it's just sitting on a branch. So multicolored, but beautiful colors. I don't know why the guy put in a bead, or maybe that's another. But another type of bird that the art scroll says roller, mamish roller. I'm telling you. But another bird that the art scroll brings down is a magpie. So we're going to go with the magpie. I'm going to show you a video of a magpie. So it says like this: Ugmire, sorry. Why is the roller called a racham? When the roller comes, it starts raining. Racham loylam starts raining. Omar Bibi Barabaya. It's when the roller sits on top of something and then it screams, whatever it does, makes it sounds. Ugmiri, and we have a Kabbalah, we have a tradition, the Yosef Arav Sharik, if it sits on the floor and it makes its noise, Asa Meshicha, Mashiach will come. Shenemar, Eshrika Lohem Akaptim. There was once a story when the magpie or the roller sat in a plowed field and it screamed, scraped. V'asa galal, and a big stone came, broke its brain, broke its head. He was a liar, he was a faker. About an oirev zoirev. The raven is a raven, which the Gemara is going to explain what that means. Eis kol oirev, but it says eis kol all lahavi oirev ha'imki, the one that's deep. We're going to have to explain. Leminoi, what about the word leminoi, which yesterday we learned means the snoonis, right? Snunit is that bird that we see everywhere. You guys have snunit, the swallows, the guys that they fly erratically. You think they're erratic, but they're catching insects and very hard to follow. Lahavi oirev haba barashi yonim. So the Gemara over here learns a different word, that it's the raven that comes with the head of the pigeon, whatever that means. The Gemara is going to explain. Oirev is oirev. A raven is a raven. Yeah, I know that. What do you mean? Did you bring one to shear and say this is the raven? Elaima, what I meant to say is oirev ukma. It's the black raven, the familiar raven that we know today. That's what they had yesterday, and that's the oirev. You're not allowed to eat that bird. It says mufurish in Tehillim that it has Shir Hashirim. It has he had his hair is curly, black hair like a raven. So you see a raven is black. Now what does the imki mean? Imki chivara. It's the white raven. Here we go. I found the picture of a white raven, very rare, but it's a real picture. So this is also treif, the white one. Okay? What does that mean? Not that it comes, that he's on top of the pigeon, his head. I looked for a picture of it, I couldn't find. His head is similar to that of a pigeon. Going back to the hawk. Here's the hawk. Haneitz zaneitz. Limineu lavi is barchiria. Okay, my barchiria. Omar abaya shurinka. So the hawk, it's interesting. I don't know, if you see the picture, you're going to say, what's the connection? So I don't know if there is a connection. The nates is a hawk. It's a pretty large bird. And it says, limineu, meaning in its species. What else is in its species? Oshurinka. So the art school brings like this. The shurinka is like a lashon of screaming, no, not screaming, of strangling. Brings that it's a strangler. Yiddish, a strangler, something. What's a strangler? So it brings this bird. Listen to this. There's a bird, you hear? And this is the picture that we had last time. There's a bird that kills its prey. It takes a prey, but it puts a rod right through it. What's it called? How do you say it in English? There's a word? Impales it. Oh. How? It finds like a thorn. And so we have a picture. And I remember I used this picture last cycle. Here. It's schmack. It impales, it takes a mouse, and it puts him on a thorn. And that's a shurinka. And that's from the family of a hawk. I don't see any resemblance whatsoever. And here, he also took this. This is from a completely different, this is one of the artists put it together, a shurinka, and I put this one in. It's the same exact bird. So we both came to the same conclusion. Okay, based on this, on the strangler. Omer Rav Yehuda, HaChasida, the famous Chasida, Zudai Levana. It's called a Dai Levana. Lama Nigro Shmo Chasida. Here I have a picture of a stork, of a, what is it called? Yeah, a stork, a white stork. I guess that's the picture I took in the Alps. Not this one, but I took a picture of a stork, as I showed a few days ago. Lama Nigro Shmo Chasida, why is it called a Chasida? Shoysa Chasidus im Chaveriseh. Because she does chesed with her friends. Chasida means you do chesed even with people that are not in your same chasidus, shul. Says the Gemara, anafa. That's a heron. Zudayo ragzonis. Oh yeah, we have. I don't need a picture. We have this. We have this video. I'll show you in a second. It's the angry one. Why is it called anafa? Shemina efes im chavirseh. She gets mad at her friends. Here's video evidence. Anger management workshop. It's garnished. Why do you like it? I don't know. Fine. Omer Rav Chanan bar Rav Chizda. Who's Rav Chanan bar Rav Chizda? Omer Rav Chizda. Omer Rav Chanan berei de Rava. Omer Rav. So Rav Chizda said in the name of his father-in-law, Rav Chanan berei de Rava, Omer Rav, in the name of Rav. His father-in-law said in the name of Rav. There's 24 non-kosher birds. This is the number that Rav said. We're going to see that Rabbi Vo says it's 23. Where did you get the number 24? The birds mentioned Vayikra, Esrim Avu, that's only 20. The ones mentioned in Dvarim, Ezra Chadav, it's 21. Where do you get up to 24? So you have one extra one that's written in Vayikra, not in Dvarim. You put it in Dvarim. It says 20, 21 plus 1 is 22. How'd you get to 24? This is what the father of your mother said. In other words, my father-in-law. Anyway, so this is just reminding me. The father of your mother, in other words, my father-in-law or your grandfather, said the name of Rav. It says in the Torah the word limino, that's 1. It says again, limino, that's 2. Liminoi is 3. Liminei was 4. Harik and arba. So 4 plus 21 is a problem. We came up to 22. So 4 plus 22 is Esrim V'Shisav was 26. Omar Abaya, I can get rid of one and I'll go down to 25. How? Da vera achas. The word, they're very similar. The Dalet and the Resh are interchangeable sometimes. So da vera are actually one. So and if in fact you think you want to fight and say that it's one, Dvarim comes to add Maishna Hacha D'chsiv Da, Maishna Hacha D'chsiv Ra. Why does it say in Vayikra it says Da and in Dvarim it says Ra? How come it doesn't say the same thing? Like Da. It's one and the same. So Mela, we're down to 25. Ask the Gemara about Shabbos is 25, not 24. I'll do the same trick again. The two birds, one ayo, one is a dayo. Okay, we don't really find that an aleph and a dalet are interchangeable, but they sound the same. Fine, it's one. These are because in fact it's two. The Varim always comes to add on to the rest of the Torah. It's a repetition of the Torah, and we add a little bit. But why does the Torah change the way it is? When it comes to ayah, it says the word lemino right away. It says ayah, daya, lemino. But the word mina comes on the daya and on daya. You should know that ayah v'daya achasi. When the Torah says ayah, daya, lemino, it's one bird. Great. Now, if it's one bird, if it said Aya in Vayikra and Daya in Dvarim, great. But it says Aya v'Daya in Dvarim. Why the two words? She says because then there shouldn't be people say, oh no, the Daya is mutter, the Aya is aser, or vice versa. So I'll put them together. Aya, Daya, they're both aser. But it's one bird. Chullin. Rabbi Oimekrani Ayo, Dayo Loman Emro. Kadishali didn't pischapel about didn't lach like so you don't have a guy shakets to say, oh, but this one is motish like the Korayu Kor Dayo. I changed the one letter and I'll lead it now. Kakos Mishnah Torah Varov is Ayo Dayo Lemino. Meisvei. That's what I'm holding? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. But which Meisvei? Why did the Torah repeat itself? You have all the behemoths in Vayikra. Why again in Dvarim? And why the same thing with the birds? Because of this guy. Remember the Shesua from yesterday? Here we go. Shesua. It's an animal that has two backs, two spines. Okay. Why did the Torah repeat itself by birds? To add the ra. My love, the shesua is an addition. Not only all these animals, but shesua also is aser. So I would think also it's the same idea. We're repeating the whole parasha by the animals. We're repeating the whole parasha by birds. And the whole parasha came to add one animal. So the whole parasha by birds to add one animal. No. When it comes to bird, we're coming to explain. So Mamela, the Ra is a explanation of the Da. Okay, so now Rabbi say we came out that instead of 26, we actually have 24 birds. And that's where Rav got it. This out of 10,000 birds of the world, 11,000. 24 birds you're not allowed to eat. That's it. We don't eat any of them because we don't have a Messiahs on any of those birds. But Be'ez Hashem, when Mashiach comes, we'll be able to eat all these, the flamingos and all that, all those birds we'll be able to eat. Says the Gemara. Upligid Rebavo. And Rebavo holds it's 23, not 24. The Omar Rebavo, we're holding already an hour into it. The Rebavo Ra Zu Ayo. The Ra and the Ayah are one of the same. She has unbelievable eyesight. Oyed is like an eagle today. How far can an eagle see? So I looked it up today. They say that it could see 3 kilometers. You could see a little mouse 3 kilometers away, clearly. Now, what does Gemara say? Tana. So he says on the side here, the Messiah says Guzma Katani. That's an exaggeration. But it's to open up your mind to understand that we don't see We don't understand. And some birds see ultraviolet. This bird could see 3 miles away, 3 kilometers away. If ra is ayo, so you can't say that a da is a ra. Another one, take off. Because if you take off one more, then you only have 23. Dvarim always comes to add to the rest of the Torah. All three are the one of the same. So then we're down to 23. Because then we're really down. How come in Dvarim it doesn't say Limineu? Elo Adayo. Sorry. Limineu Ayo Elo Adayo. Only on the Dayo it says Limineu. El Shmamino Do Vero Dayo Vayo. All these four, Achasi. So what comes out at the end of the day? 23 treif birds, not 24. So according to Rav, it's 23. According to Rav, it's 24. Should we just do this little piece? Let's do this little piece. There's 100 birds that are tamei in the east. They're all part of the ayo species. There are 700 types of tamei fish. Today, scientists say that there are 37,000 types of fish. So when the Gemara says that 700 are tamei, that means that all 36,000 plus are kosher fish. They have snapper v'kaskesses, you're allowed to eat them. It's crazy. I don't know if you have to have Messiahs. It doesn't say anywhere you have to have Messiahs on fish. Birds, you have to have Messiahs. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. We have to finish the Masechta to find out. Today, science says, I don't know what if it's a machlokes or not. 800 is a tremendous number. But maybe there's inbred, but they said there's 11,000 types of grasshoppers. Some sugar. Only 2 or 3 we have a Messiahs on. In other words, sorry, it's not a contradiction. When it says Shmoyne Minei Esmir Chagavim, it's the Tamei. These are the ones that are Tamei. The rest are kosher. There's unlimited amount of birds that are kosher. As the Gemara, there's only 24 that are also not a mispar. Elo, there's 24 birds that are tamei, and the rest of the birds, the 11,000 species times, and every species has the subcategories with chulu, so it's unlimited amount. They're all tar. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.